Welcome back to Building People, Companies, and Careers. I'm your host, Amy Pack. Here at AccruePartners, we are passionate about bringing together candidates, clients, consultants, and thought leaders in the Charlotte community and across the Carolinas. Here with me today, I have Jose Costa, CEO and board member of Whistle Express, the nation's fastest growing express car wash platform with over 530 locations across 25 states. Jose has been executives at Burger King, Bojangles, Maaco, and at Whistle Express, he is leading with passion, innovation, and a people-first culture. Welcome, Jose.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, well, we appreciate it. So I always like to start out with the interview question. Tell me about yourself.
I grew up in Venezuela. I spent the first 26 years of my life there. Worked for my father in marketing and advertising. He used to own the largest consortium of marketing and advertising agencies in Venezuela. And I played rugby for 11 years and had a great life growing up. And he went to University of Michigan in the 60s, and he always wanted my sister and I and my brother to come to the US to study and then go back and take over the family business. So in 2003, I applied and got accepted to go to Northwestern for a Master's of Science in Marketing with the hope of going back home. And within 3 days of starting the program, I met my now wife, and we've been together for 22 years.
That's fabulous. And so what does Dad think about that?
Well, we had a very close relationship. He passed away last year, and every day he wanted me to go back. And we talked literally 3 times a day, and he would ask me, when are you coming back? At the beginning, I would say, give me a month. Then I would say, give me 3 months. And that turned into 22 years, and I never went back.
Yes. Wow. Now, your brother and sister, do they still live in Venezuela? Are they here?
Everyone's here. My sister eventually went back, but then Venezuela is in such a critical situation that everyone who can leave, that has the means to leave, does so.
Right. So the marketing agency that your father had obviously speaks to some of your roots in the direction of your career. Did anybody keep the family business moving, or?
The family business is still there, but it used to be 7 companies with about 400 employees, $100 million of billing. It was a very large group. Today it has like 20 people, 1 company, and it's on life support.
Yeah.
But because it has his name, his legacy, it's been open for 50 years.
Wow.
It's still going, but it's not what it used to be.
Yeah. So you definitely have the entrepreneurial spirit in your blood, I would say.
I get it from both sides. My mom is from Italy, and my maternal side of the family, they were all entrepreneurs from Italy. And then my dad was from Spain, and same thing, they were entrepreneurs from Spain that left because of Mussolini and Franco. And Venezuela was a landing place for a lot of Portuguese, Italians, and Spaniards.
Wow, that's a great launching here. So obviously back to building people, companies, and careers. You've seen it your whole life with your dad owning the agency. Share with us a little bit about your journey post-college. Since you decided to stay in the States, you've had a significant impact with the companies that you've been leading and at Whistle Express.
Yes, I've had a fun career in multi-unit retail. Right coming out of Northwestern, the first job was with Yum Brands, which is the parent company of Taco Bell, KFC, and Pizza Hut. I came in through brand management, had a great learning experience, one of the best cultures I've worked for, learned a lot from great leaders, had the opportunity to have a mentor relationship with David Novak, the CEO of Yum, who's an incredible leader. From there, I went on to start my own marketing agency in the middle of the 2008 debacle. And that was in itself a huge learning experience about hiring and firing and growing too fast and managing expenses in an uncertain economic environment. And I think God always has a great plan. So towards the end of that time, I was finishing my third master's degree at University of Chicago, and I got a call from Burger King. They had just been acquired by 3G Capital. This is the Q4 of 2010, and they took Burger King private, and they said, "We're looking for someone to run Latin America and the Caribbean. Would you be interested? Can you come on Monday for an interview?" So I show up. I interviewed. They had interviewed me when I was at Yum 5-7 years earlier, but they told me I wasn't a fit. But something changed in 5-7 years that I was a fit now. And they made an offer on the spot.
Wow.
And that was my first experience with private equity. And it changed my life forever. So the last 15 years, I've worked for 8 private equity firms, jumping between restaurants and automotive retail. So from Burger King, after the IPO, I came to Charlotte to work for Driven Brands as president of Mako. We had about 500-600 body shops when I got there. 5 years later, we sold from AccruePartners to Rourke, and we ended up with about 1,200 body shops in about 5 years. I got promoted from president of Mako to group president. And then I left to run an optical retail company selling beautiful glasses like yours.
Perfect timing.
Yes. I did that for about 2 years. It was owned by a very large publicly traded Dutch company controlled by a private equity firm. That one got acquired by Luxottica, and I was looking for a job. And Bojangles had an opportunity, not as CEO, but as head of growth. I didn't want to move our family from Charlotte, so I decided to take that opportunity. Really grew the brand for about 3 years until I got a call from one of your competitors about this opportunity for a small car wash company. When I got to Whistle Express, we had 45 units, and today we're the largest platform in the country with 530. So it's been a fun story of growth and transformation across Burger King, Driven Brands, Bojangles, and now Whistle.
Yeah, there's a lot of commonality there in the different threads, and certainly with the, I believe you said 8 PE firms, you've seen a lot.
Yes.
And certainly the PE firms are making a splash in Charlotte. I look back and just thinking the last 5 to 10 years, the presence and the impact they're having on our community is pretty significant in many ways. What would be some, inflection points looking back to the different retail organizations, multi-site platforms that you've worked for were really important as you look at to what you're doing today at Whistle Express?
I think some of the formative practices came from 3G Capital at Burger King. The accountability component, the transparency component. So they use a methodology called MBOs, Management by Objectives, and they get published monthly, and it's full transparency. Everyone in the company knows where they stand at any point in time. So we took that with us from Burger King to Driven Brands, and I've used it everywhere I go. It's a great tool just to set expectations, to calm I think anxiety around, am I getting a bonus or not? Well, it's transparent. You can see the numbers, you can see the scorecard. We do monthly town halls, we do monthly financial reviews. We share our data with everyone so they know where we're standing and they know if they're going to get a bonus or not. That combined with, I always say the greatest gift I can give you is feedback. You may love it or hate it, but I'm going to coach you as soon as I see something. So I went on a tour 2 weeks ago to Denver. We just acquired Take 5, 380 locations across 25 states, a very large transformative acquisition. And I'm visiting stores, and the regional vice president walks in, and he's like hitting people hard with metrics and like, why are you doing this? And instead of lifting people up, he's like punching them. and I after the first 2 stores, I pulled him aside and I said, Frank, this is not how we do things at Whistle. I know all the numbers and all the data before I show up to every location.
Right.
I have my financial team pull every single KPI, and I know what I'm looking for before I show up. I don't need you punishing this poor site manager in front of me to send a message. That's not how we do business. We always need to leave the sites better than we found them. And through those meetings, you learn, well, I need an awning, or I need more ice for my drinks, or I need a little bit of shade, or my pay station, it's broken. If I'm sitting in Charlotte all the time, I don't get to see a reality. So another guiding principle is to be in the locations every week. 1, 2, 3 nights a week, I'm on the road visiting stores.
Yeah, it's good to be seen. And that leads back to your people first culture. And hopefully they're beginning to see the results of that and can appreciate it. At AccruePartners, we always say that we're a feedback-rich company.
Yes.
And it is, it's good to let people know that in advance, because without the feedback, you can't grow.
You need to have the psychological safety, the trust, and it takes time to develop those 2 things in order for the feedback to be received with open arms. Because the first human reaction is to put up a wall. Oh, I didn't do that, or that doesn't apply to me. And allowing them to understand that we're going to get better every day, we're going to make mistakes, but we're here to coach each other.
Yeah. So that leads me to, you received a call to go to Whistle Express. What was the compelling story behind that, and what inspired you to take that next step to such a big adventure where you've had a significant impact?
Yes, that was another inflection point, because Bojangles was a much bigger business.
And Carolina's focused.
Right. It was a few things. I wanted to get back to automotive. I wanted to do M&A. I wanted to lead and transform the brand. I wanted it to be based in Charlotte. So it hit a lot of those key attributes for me. And when I got there, we had 45 units and 16 brands. And every couple of weeks, I would get a cease and desist letter about the brands. There's a Camel car wash in Nashville, and we had Camel car wash in Atlanta and Jacksonville. So the owner of Camel would send letters. There's a lot of water, wave, blue, white naming in the industry. So everyone would send letters. I went to the private equity firm and I said, Sean, our chairman, we really need to fix this, because we cannot keep building a company based on 16 distinct brands that we don't own. And we came to the agreement the only trademark we owned was Whistle. And that's the story behind the rebrand and the change of the name of the company.
And that was about 2 years ago, if I recall.
Yes.
Yeah,
right,
I remember when y'all went through that.
Right around when Oak Tree Capital acquired us. We went from about 45 units to 90. Oak Tree bought us, and they took us from 90 to 150, and now from 150 to 530.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing. So with that growth, I think this is a great transition. How do you go about protecting the culture through that growth and through the acquisitions? Because there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of new people.
The hardest part of my job is change management and continuously building the culture day in, day out with the right behaviors. A lot of it is by leading from the front and being in the sites, a lot of listening, a lot of recognition. I'm the only one that has this green Whistle hat that I give out when I visit sites. So everyone knows that if someone has a green hat, Jose has been there, which is a fun way of recognizing the team. But it all comes down to driving the right behaviors around empathy, grace, coaching, giving people opportunities, allowing everyone to give an open, honest feedback without feeling there's any retaliation. I don't use my title. No one knows I'm coming to the sites. They're all unannounced because I want to see a reality and I want to coach on reality. There are 5 core tenets. I call it the Whistle Express dynasty. And it's grounded on 5 things. Number 1 is consistently running great washes. We will wash 50 million cars in 2025. So I talked to the team about 50 million opportunities to make a great impression. 50 million cars is a lot of cars. And when you add 5,000 team members, there's a lot of variables that can go wrong where you can have a great experience in Utah and I can have a bad experience in Tampa, right? So how do we develop the training, the practices, the rhythm to develop consistency? The second tenet is around top-line growth, which is a combination of traffic. How do you bring more people in, and price? The next tenet is the middle of the P&L. There's 5 things in car washing that we can control. So as a site manager, I'm going to hold you accountable for 5 things: labor, chemistry, water, supplies, and repair and maintenance. I cannot hold you accountable for taxes. I cannot hold you accountable for rent, but I can hold you accountable for the other 5. Then you have the next tenet is unit growth. And that's basically you build them or you buy them. So organic or inorganic. And the last tenet is people growth. So we always talk about those 5 things and how we execute them on a daily basis to grow Whistle Express.
So with Whistle, how many of the 530 units were organic versus an acquisition?
I've been there for 3 years. We were on a run rate of opening about 20 a year for about 2 years. So 40 out of roughly 530. So 290 were acquired roughly.
Wow.
And with interest rates changing, it's becoming, from a capital efficiency standpoint, more effective to acquire than it is to build.
Yeah. The topic everybody has on top of their mind, the interest rates. So as you've expanded and grown, obviously there's a lot of hiring and the developing of talent that has to take place. And I know mentoring seems to be very near and dear to your heart. Share with us a little bit about your philosophy around hiring talent and how you go about developing talent.
Yes. Well, we partner with great companies like yours.
Well, thank you.
You've been a great partner for many, many years. We start with the management team, right? I always talk about who's sitting at your table. I have a limited number of seats at my table, and I want the best 5, 6, 7, 8 people that I can sit at my table. So once we have the right management team, we start going layer by layer below. And we try to assess, do we have the best, let's take technology, for example, cybersecurity or infrastructure or applications or data. Do we have the right leaders underneath our chief technology officer to lead those functions? And yes or no, right? If it's no, we go to someone like Accrue to help us find the right talent. Sometimes in certain functions like operations, 2/3 to 3/4 of the time, we try to promote from within, assuming we have the right bench. So it's a work in progress, and we continuously do that assessment function by function, month after month, to make sure that we have the right people, because some people leave, some people want to get promoted faster than they can. So we talk about an axis of potential and performance. You can have great performance if you're a forensic accountant or an engineer. Maybe your potential is limited because you're a great forensic accountant and that's what you want to do for the rest of your life. On the other hand, if you're a new hire, you have tremendous potential. On paper, you're great, you interview great, but you don't have any performance to show us that you can actually do the job. So if you're patient you put your head down, you do a great job. We are going to intersect potential and performance, and then you're going to get promoted. The problem is the younger team members are very impatient and they want to get promoted like every 6 months, and you cannot do that.
Yeah, the changing of the generations.
Right.
We see it in placing talent with our clients. They do want to get promoted quickly, and it's not to say that they're not a good performer. You just need some consistency and continued continuity to see what that actually looks like. So
Yes.
I feel your pain. I know it. I see it. And all of our clients talk about it.
Well, it creates opportunities for you.
Yes, it does. That it does. So maybe let's take a little bit of a pivot, because you authored a book and launched it, I guess, 2-3 years ago, maybe.
Yep.
I guess share with us a little bit, what inspired you to launch the book.
So the book is called Leading with Edge, and it started as a presentation I used to give at University of Chicago and Northwestern. And every time I would finish the presentation, the students and the professors would ask for a leave behind. And all I had were the slides, and the slides were not like very detailed and comprehensive. And I heard that feedback for about 5 years.
Wow.
So I heard it so much that I thought to myself, if they're asking for this, there must be something good here. It takes a long time to write a book. This is pre-AI and ChatGPT, so it's literally me writing the book. So it took multiple years, and I put it out there, and I basically give it away as a gift when I meet people. I give a lot of copies to the public school system here in Charlotte. I give it to all of our team members. It wasn't something to generate profit. It was something to give back in a way of, like you said, I'm very passionate about mentoring, and it's encapsulated for my children when they grow older. It's a good gift, and hopefully people take something away from it.
Yeah, I know there's several of us at Accrue that have read it. And my son is an inspiring entrepreneur, and I gave it to him. And what's great about it, it's a easy read, and the format in which it's laid out is appealing. So,
yes.
What would be some of the key takeaways in the book that you would want to share with the audience?
So it's some of the things that we use at Whistle that I learned from my early days at Burger King with 3G. Combined with a little bit of the culture and recognition from Yum Brands and David Novak. So accountability, transparency, how you measure performance, how you motivate and recognize people. But I think the punchline is the last chapter, which talks about who controls and who owns your balance. Many team members at various companies are always putting the responsibility on the employer around work-life balance. And basically the last chapter, from my view, tells you that you, Amy, need to own your own balance. Your boss, your coach, your supervisor will not determine if you need to leave at 6 o'clock to have dinner with your children. He or she will not determine if you need to take a vacation once a quarter. He or she will not determine if you go to church on Sunday. So what are those 4, I call it quadrants. So it's your local community, it's your church, it's your circle of friends, and your job. And how do you balance those things?
Yeah, love it. Because they do expect the leader to create the balance.
Yeah, and I lead by example. I try not to email my team after 6 or 7 o'clock. I try not to reach out on weekends. I force them to take vacation and spend time with their family. Because if they have a good balance in their lives and at home, then they're going to perform better at Whistle.
Right.
And we cannot all be robots 100% of the time.
Yeah. So that takes me to my next question, robots. We're living in the world of AI, or what AI is going to bring. Well, I guess what is Whistle instituting from the AI perspective, and where do you think that's going to have the biggest impact?
It's a great question, and we're thinking about it a lot. About 2 months ago, we did a workshop, hired an AI consultant. He came and did about a 6-hour training for about 25 people, just on emerging technologies, applications, how to use it, even creating and developing policies within the organization. Because many people are uploading things to ChatGPT that are confidential.
Yeah. Right.
And it's out of ignorance, right? What are the unintended consequences of putting out numbers or figures on a public domain? So do we use Pilot? Do we use other platforms that we actually have more control and ownership over? A lot of the innovation is coming from our suppliers. So for example, our customer service platform, they use a lot of AI to identify trends on the feedback that we're getting from customers. Our suppliers in chemistry and parts are developing AI capability within the tunnel. So when a chemical is down or a part has broken, the next frontier will be predicting when a part will break, because downtime at a tunnel impacts the customer experience. So being able to get ahead of maybe one of the wraps inside of the tunnel will break in the next 2 weeks. Can we go ahead and fix it now? All the way to, we have 1.6 million members in our database that are members that own vehicles that visit us frequently. How do we know them better? How do we predict their behavior better? So we are every week talking about AI. It's the topic of definitely 2025
and beyond.
And beyond.
To some degree.
Yes.
How, there's all this chatter out there. It's going to take away jobs. It's going to change jobs. It's going to enhance jobs. I mean, you can't get away from it. How are the employees at Whistle adopting it, accepting it? Because it's here, it's not going away. I know at AccruePartners, we're instituting a lot of new technology, a lot of AI, and it's making us more efficient in allowing us to do better work. But how are the teams at Whistle accepting it?
I think they're climbing the learning curve. Acceptance, I think, will be greater with more understanding. It will impact more functions, I think, versus others. So, for example, when we merged the two platforms, there's an offshoring practice. There's really good call centers outside of the U.S. that can do a great job, both from a human capital standpoint, but from an AI standpoint, leveraging technology. So by combining the two call centers, there were obviously some positions that got eliminated, but productivity increased because of the use of AI on top of the platform. So I think it will vary function by function. We are not seeing a huge number of positions being eliminated right now. Some industries are saying that depending on the industry, it will impact. At Bojangles, we were testing the drive-through speakers being ran by an AI platform, and I know they've expanded that pilot.
That was Bo Linda, right?
Yes.
I have had Bo Linda before.
What are your thoughts?
I was a little bit shocked in the beginning. It wasn't what I was expecting.
Right.
But she worked out lovely.
That's right. And that's part of the learning curve, right? The more you use it, the more comfortable you get with it. So I think that's an example of both of us as customers, but also as leaders within our companies. How do we continue to innovate?
Yeah, you got to try it and play with it and modify and teach it. And it's almost like a human. If you don't play with it and talk to it and everything else, you can't get it and advance it the way you need to.
It's funny you say that. So part of the training, the consultant was explaining that a lot of people, when they do the prompts, at the end they say please and thank you. And just by saying please and thank you, you're almost treating and training the AI chatbot as a human. And the response supposedly is more empathetic because you're like building this respect, mutual respect.
So are we going to have a chat bot at Whistle?
Yes. Like if you have in the frequently asked questions on the website or on the app, if we can enable better, faster responses to your questions, that could be an area where you're going to see it sooner rather than later. But we strive to have human connections and to be able to talk to a human being as much as possible. So
I prefer the human.
Back in the day, the car wash industry is highly fragmented. So there's a lot of small independent business owners. And the mindset historically was to make it hard to talk to a human being. So if you wanted to cancel your membership, you had to drive to the location and cancel. We really want to change that. And if you want to cancel, you should be able to cancel.
Yeah.
We shouldn't make it hard.
Make it hard. Yeah. So, well, these are all great thoughts and ideas. So as we wrap up, I thought we would do two things. One, what would be the one thought that you would want to leave others? And then we will move from that into rapid fire.
Yes. I would say surround yourself with great talent and great partners like you've been for us. You cannot do it alone, and especially in a leadership position, you need a great team around your table, and you need great partners to be able to accomplish your dreams.
Yeah.
That combined with the balance, the last chapter of the book.
Yes.
Keep striving to own your own balance, because your employer will not define or own your balance.
Yeah, love it. Well, back to that partnership, I would tell you we are grateful for the partnership with you and your team. And I always tell our clients that we may make it look easy to do what we do, but it takes two to tango.
Yes.
And without a good partnership, without good feedback, and without collaboration, we can't do what we do. So we do appreciate that from you and your team immensely.
Thank you.
So into rapid fire.
Okay.
You kind of touched on this a little bit, but when you reflect back, who or what would be your biggest career memory or best boss?
My dad.
Your dad.
Best
Love it.
mentor, best boss. He was my best friend. He was my best man at my wedding.
Aw.
I started working for him when I was about 18. And when I was like a year and a half into the job, I remember coming back home with teary eyes. And I said, why are you making me work for this person? She is so hard to work with. And he looked at me in the eyes and he said, if you can work for her, down the road, you're going to be able to work for people that are much harder to work for than her. At 18, 19, you don't realize that lesson, but it was one of the best lessons that he taught me.
It was a gift.
It was a gift, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So what would be the one saying that you are known for?
I have a lot.
You can give us two.
Okay. Pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered. That's around being greedy. And especially from a negotiation standpoint, it should be a win-win partnership. It shouldn't be everything for you or everything for me.
Right.
So that's definitely one. The other one is it's better to be respected than liked.
Love them. That's great. All right. And the final would be, what is your favorite restaurant?
Acqua e Vino. It's a Italian restaurant. Reminds me of my grandmother and my mom's cooking, because Chef Gabriele does everything from scratch.
Yes, and that's over at Strawberry Hill.
It is,
yes. And they have the best truffles that they shave at the table.
Yes, it's phenomenal.
Yes, that's great. They just expanded it.
They did. And
Yeah.
They have a seasonal shaved ice. So sometimes they have muscadine, they have watermelon or strawberry. It's a very refreshing dessert.
We'll have to go try that
Yes.
one. So, well, great. Well, Jose, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for giving us your time today and for the partnership with Whistle.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.